These are 5 defenses to stream in Week 6. Number 1 on the list is the Philadelphia Eagles. At this point, it is actually getting a bit ridiculous. Deshaun Watson has taken a league-leading 26 sacks. For comparison, Geno Smith is second with 19, and he's played an extra game. The Browns are averaging the fewest yards per game with 239, and between poor play and injuries, their protection issues are becoming glaring. Teams are starting to blitz them at an extraordinarily high rate. Going back to Week 3 when they faced the Giants almost doubled their blitz rate going into that game, and they were rewarded. They ended up sacking Watson 8 times. Deshaun Watson's dual threat ability has seemed to have evaporated, and he's even come out and voiced that he doesn't view himself as a running quarterback. The Browns are averaging the 3rd fewest points per game with 15.8, and with Nick Chubb's status still up in the air, I don't see things getting easier anytime soon. Even though Philadelphia hasn't been lighting up the box score on defense, they do have enough talent up front to exploit Cleveland's weaknesses. Number 2 on the list is the Houston Texans. With the Patriots handing the keys over to Drake May, I am expecting their offense to improve slightly, but he is still a rookie, and I'm expecting him to have his fair share of struggles. May's strong arm and rushing ability does make him an upgrade over Jacoby Brissett, but he's still behind one of the worst offensive lines in the league. Their unit has already given up 19 sacks, which is tied for the 2nd most in the league, and that's only the beginning of their issues. They also don't have much firepower at receiver, and I can see them continuing to struggle to produce points. For the year, they're only averaging 12.4 per game, which is the 2nd fewest in the NFL, and without potentially having Ramondre Stevenson, they could really be in trouble. They're coming off of 4 straight losses, and they're playing a Houston team that has been pretty solid, having allowed the 4th fewest yards per game and tallying 15 sacks along with 3 interceptions. Number 3 on the list is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Even though the Buccaneers have looked a bit vulnerable on defense this year, particularly through the air, allowing the 5th most passing yards, they have looked a lot better in their last 2 games, where they've racked up 10 of their 12 total sacks. And this week they go up against the New Orleans Saints team that will be without Derek Carr, which means 5th-round rookie Spencer Rattler will get the start. Rattler had a lot of questions surrounding him coming into the draft, which is a big reason why he fell to the 5th round, and even though the sample size was small, he didn't look all that great in the preseason. He only completed 20 of 38 passes for 202 yards, had 1 touchdown, no interceptions, and 1 fumble. Tampa's only rostered in 28% of leagues, and if you're looking to take a chance on a defense that has some solid upside, I would strongly consider them. Number 4 on the list is the Atlanta Falcons. I think the honeymoon phase between Andy Dalton and Carolina might be dwindling. After coming out booming in his first game, he's regressed in the 2 that followed, hitting a new low last week, where he only threw for 136 yards, did not throw for a touchdown, and had 1 pick before ultimately being pulled in favor of Bryce Young. Now, some of his struggles can definitely be attributed to the fact that the Bears are just a good defense, and that they forced the Panthers to become one-dimensional and go away from the run, which was actually pretty effective, but I worry that might be the case again this week. The Falcons are coming off of 2 huge victories, and with the Panthers being so banged up on defense, this game could get out of hand quick, and they may be forced to abandon the running game again. Atlanta's only rostered in 19% of leagues, and they're another low-key option with some good upside. Number 5 on the list is the Green Bay Packers. Even though the Packers are going up against a Cardinals team that has Kyler Murray and some very talented options on offense, they've been nearly matchup proof all season, averaging the 2nd highest fantasy points per game with 11.8. They lead the league with 14 takeaways. They also have 16 sacks and 1 defensive score. And I think Xavier McKinney may have been one of the best signings of any team this offseason. He has an interception in every game this year. The Cardinals have been hot and cold, and I think this may be a cold week, quite literally. They're going into Lambeau on what is supposed to be a rainy day. Surprisingly, Green Bay's only rostered in 45% of leagues, and I would consider picking them up and even hanging on to them beyond this week. Those are 5 defenses to consider streaming in Week 6. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and let me know which defenses you think we should stream in the comments below.